Hi, Upptik. I'm Callahan Coffee. I'm here with my third interview with Emily Manny, a senior graphic design major at Endicott College. Hey, Emily, what's up?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for doing this today. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
So, I wanted to ask you, I know you studied abroad in Florence, Italy last fall, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, I was,
Yeah.
I really want to dive into that, and I was wondering what interests you about study abroad and like what drew you and why you decided to do it.
So my mom studied abroad when she was in college, and she has talked about that since I was like, I've heard her tell stories about it since I was a little kid. And I've always just wanted to be able to like travel like that. And hearing her tell all the stories about how amazing her experience was always made me want to do it. So when I was looking for colleges, I made sure that I found one that had a really good program for study abroad and was like prepared for that. And when I found out that my friends wanted to study abroad too, I was really excited. So that's kind of how I ended up doing that.
That's really cool. And I didn't even think to look at schools that would have a good program. I always thought that most schools would have that, but that's a really good thought and idea. Um,
Most schools do, but I really wanted to make sure that wherever I went had like as many options as I could possibly have.
yeah, it's great. And so what was it like? How different is it studying and going to school in Italy versus the US?
It was it was interesting. It was like it's a very similar setup to like college here. I feel like if To me, it was a lot different because we were living like in the city and I live on a campus that's like very college like central. And
Yeah.
so that was a difference, but the way that they kind of set up is kind of similar. But it's really interesting because especially in Italy, like their culture is so much different than ours with the way that they like view work. And so we like all of my classes only met once a week. They were 3 hours, which was horrible, but it was 3 hours once a week. So I only had classes 2 days a week, and then I would spend the rest of the time like either just hanging out in Florence or traveling. Um, and I don't know. I thought it was a little strange because the school that we went to was mostly international students, so it's a lot of
Mhm.
Americans studying abroad. So I feel like if I had gone to a different place that was more like native Italians, it might have been
Yeah.
different. But yeah, it was cool. It was really interesting to see like I really like the way that they view like their work culture and like
Mhm.
their work-life balance because they care a lot more about like free time and family time
Yeah.
and like relaxed time than we do, which was really nice.
Yeah. Must be. So what was your favorite or best part of the experience? And what do you think, not a negative, but something that now you know you could like advise people like, I made this mistake, so don't do this.
Mhm. I think the best part for me was just getting to travel everywhere because that's always been one of my like big goals. So I I went somewhere new every weekend. Like I made sure that I saved up a lot of money before I went and I like went there with the express purpose of traveling like as many places that I possibly could. So that was like probably my favorite part. I got to go to a lot of new places. I think there's a couple things that I would say. I would say make sure that if you're going like with a group of people, like if you are planning to go abroad or you're planning to travel or you're planning to go like with people, kind of have a conversation about your intentions before you go. Because like I got there and it turned out that some of my friends like weren't really there to travel like I was, and so that was kind of like an adjustment.
Mhm.
So like as long as you understand like what you're both there for,
Yeah.
it is perfectly fine. But if you are going there with like a goal in mind, make sure that you know what the people around you are also going there for.
Yeah, that's great advice. I love that. So I also want to talk about your major.
Mhm.
And so your graphic design major has to do a lot with art. So I wanted to know
Yes.
what your biggest like inspirations and motivators are when it comes to making designs and artwork.
Oh boy. I guess like for me, art is like a way of like expressing my emotions because I have a lot of things happening in my head, and like different forms of art are the best way that I've found to kind of process that.
Hmm.
So that's how I think how I started to get into it. But I don't know. I just really like being able to take people's like ideas and create something visual out of them because I'm a very like visual person.
Yeah.
Um, and as far as like inspirations, I don't know. I've always been like a huge Disney kid, so like Disney animated movies and like all of that. I was always like, oh my God, I want to be able to do stuff like that. So,
That's cool. That's really cool. And so you're a graphic design major, and I know you've had some internships, and you also do photography, correct?
yes, I do.
Yes. So you do internships, photography, and how many clubs do you do at the school?
Let's see. Okay. I just joined the rowing team. That's my newest one, so that's like that was a big step. That was
Yeah.
different. A lot of sports kids, so that was a big jump. But that one I have band, I have percussion, I was in pep band. Now the schedule conflicts, but I guess we can still consider that. So there's four. The radio station. Oh my God, I feel like I'm forgetting something. We go to trivia every week. That's not really a club, but so I think that's like five or six things.
Five or six. So
Yeah.
my question is, how do you balance all that with school and friendship?
It's this semester especially has like it's always a very precarious balance and
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm really good at it. Like good at balancing those things. I wouldn't say that I'm like particularly amazing at that. I just am too stubborn to let go of things that I like doing, so I'm like I'll just make it work. Um, but I think the best thing is like I tried to make sure that I get my schoolwork done because that is like I'm paying to go to school, so like
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. But also understanding that like my grades and like things like that are not what defines me as a person, and that what's
Mhm.
going to last past college is like my experiences with my friends and like doing things that I like to do. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that I'm good at it, so I don't know that I would tell anybody to take advice from me on doing that. But just like if you really like something and if you really like want to keep doing it, you can find ways. Like if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So
That's still good advice to have and to know. So yeah, that's great. And then just any overall advice for any incoming college freshmen, like when it comes to studying abroad or clubs and majors and stuff like that, what advice would you have?
um definitely if you have the opportunity, studying abroad is not for everyone, which is a big thing, but if you're interested at all in it, I would highly, highly recommend. It's such a good experience to get like experience like living on your own and kind of adjusting to a new culture, and it's just good to have that exposure.
Hmm.
Especially I feel like in today's world, getting to experience different ways of life is a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see things that you wouldn't probably normally think about. And then just this is like more advice in general, but you're like gonna change a lot in college. So like if you find yourself no longer as committed to things that you used to be really committed to, that's okay. Like you can shift and pick things up and put things down. And I think the same goes for like friend groups too. So like just be prepared that things are going to change. Like it's okay to shift throughout college.
Yeah, definitely. It's great advice. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I know everyone's gonna love this interview. And yeah, so thank you so much, and bye, Upptik.
Thank you.